रंजन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद श्रील चरणानंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Chapter title Prayers by the Demigods, Text 31. Iti Swayam Samuttirya Sudustaram Yuman Hava Arnavam Himam Adabhya Sauhridaha Bhavatpada Ambhoruha Navam Atra Te Nidhaya Yathaha Tat Anugraha Bhavan Svayam Samutkirya Sudustharam Dyuman Bhavarnavam Bhimam Adabhya Sauhridaha Bhavatpadambhoruha Navamatrate Nidhaya Yatha Sad Anugraho Bhavan Svayam Samutkirya Sudustharam Dyuman Bhavarnavam Bhimam Adhabhya Sauhridaha Bhavatpadambhoruha Navamatrate Nidhaya Yatha Sad Anugraho Bhavan Svayam Samuttirya Sudustharam Dyuman Bhavarnavam Bhimam Adhabhya Sauhridaha Bhavatpadambhoruha Navamatrate Nidhaya Yata Sad Anugraho Bhavan Svayam Samuttirya Sudustharam Dyuman Bhavarnavam Adhabhya Sauhridaha Bhavatpadambhoruha Navamatrate Nidhaya Yata Sad Anugraho Bhavan Svayam Samuttirya Sudustharam Dyuman भवान्नवं भीमं मदभ्यसौहृदाः तत्पदाम्भोरुहनावमत्रते शुद्धायात अनु वयं समुत्तीर्य सुदुष्करं द्युमन् भवान्नवं भीमं मदभ्यसौहृदाः भवत्पदाम्भोरुहनावमत्रते निधायाता सदनुग्रहो भवान् माताजी वयं समुत्तीर्य सुदुष्करं द्युमन् भवान्नवं तद्भक्ताः भवत्पदाम्भोरुहनावमत्रते दायातः सदनुग्रहो भवान् वयं personally samuttirya perfectly crossing to dustaram which is very difficult to cross human O Lord who appear exactly like the sun illuminating the darkness of this world of ignorance Bhava Arnavam the ocean of nescience Himam which is extremely fierce Adabhya Sauhridaha devotees who are incessantly friendly to the fallen souls. Bhavat Pada Ambhoruha your lotus feet. Navam the boat for crossing. Atra in this world. They the Vaishnavas. Nidhaya leaving behind yathaha onto the ultimate destination Vaikuntha Tat Anugraha who are always kind and merciful to the devotees Bhavan you Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Pondracharya of ISKCON Translation O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as the desire tree, Vancha Kalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nescience, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. And because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. Purport This statement reveals how the merciful Acharyas and the merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead together help the serious devotee who wants to return home back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his teachings to Rupa Goswami, said, Brahmanda Brahmithe Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya, chapter 19, text 150. One can achieve the seed of Bhakti Latha, devotional service, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The duty of the Guru is to find the means, according to the time, the circumstances, and the candidate, by which one can be induced to render devotional service, which Krishna accepts from a candidate who wants to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. After wandering throughout the universe, a fortunate person within this material world seeks shelter of such a guru or acharya who trains the devotee in the suitable ways to render service according to the circumstances so that the Supreme Personality of Godhead will accept the service. This makes it easier for the candidate to reach the ultimate destination. The acharya's duty, therefore, is to find the means by which devotees may render service according to references from Shastra. Rupa Goswami, for example, in order to help subsequent devotees, published such devotional books as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Thus, it is the duty of the Acharya to publish books that will help future candidates take up the method of service and become eligible to return home back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord. In our Krishna consciousness movement, the same path is being prescribed and followed. Thus, the devotees have been advised to refrain from four sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions. Because in the Western countries constant chanting is not possible, one should not artificially imitate Haridas Thakura, but should follow this method. Krishna will accept a devotee who strictly follows the regulative principles and the method prescribed in the various books and literatures published by the authorities. The Acharya gives the suitable method for crossing the ocean of nescience, accepting the boat of the Lord's lotus feet. And if this method is strictly followed, followers will ultimately reach the destination by the grace of the Lord. This method is called Acharya Sampradaya. It is therefore said, Sampradaya Vihinaye Mantraste Nishpala Matha Patma Purana. The Acharya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide. Therefore, one must accept the Acharya Sampradaya. Otherwise, one's endeavor will be futile. Srila Narottam Das Thakura therefore sings, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas, Jhaname Ha Ye Abhilash. One must worship the lotus feet of the Acharya and live within the society of devotees. Then one's endeavor to cross over nescience will surely be successful. चक्षुरुन्मीलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतां वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीरपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्य श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रश्नाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधिं नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशता जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 स्वयं समुत्थिल्य सुदुस्तरं दिवन् भवार्णवं दीमदभ्रसौताः भवत्पदाम्बोर्हनावमत्रते निधाय याता सदनुभान्. O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as the desert tree, Vanchakalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nescience, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross, and because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. Hare Krishna. Here we are seeing the instructions of demigods. Not exactly instructions, the prayers of the demigods. It is quite similar to the words that we saw on Sunday. How the divine lotus feet of the Lord, which can give us all shelter, all fearlessness, and that divine shelter, that divine lotus feet of the Lord, when one accepts, then that becomes the method to cross over the ocean of nescience. Srila Prabhupada, he has given a very wonderful purport, and he is speaking of so many things. But I am particularly going to speak on the fortunate jiva, how by good fortune that one gets a bona fide spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes we wonder, or at least personally, I'm feeling that Not sometimes, many times we do feel that we are practicing this Krishna consciousness. So we do feel that are we really here? Am I here? I sometimes used to wonder, am I here? Am I here in this Krishna consciousness movement? How this is possible? This is not an ordinary thing. We are just living in this movement. This is no ordinary movement. We have taken this process of Krishna consciousness somehow. We may take this process so lightly, or we may come to this moment so lightly, or we may just exist in the moment. But when we analyze what we have gotten in this moment, it makes us wonder, are we really here, or am I here in this moment? It's a big wonderful thing that has happened in our life. And the answer is given here. It's all because of the mercy of the Acharyas and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's all because their mercy. How is it possible that the sinful conditioned souls rotting here in the material world, always considering the fortune to be misfortune and the misfortune to be fortune, always the inverse thing is always thought about the conditioned soul. And now suddenly the conditioned soul is coming to this movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, practicing this Krishna consciousness. So it's really a great fortune. It's no ordinary thing. It's really a very great fortune that we are here in this moment. And it is a great fortune. That's why here Srila Prabhupada, he is quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his teachings to Rupa Goswami. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. Only by great fortune. It's a luck. It's a good luck to somebody who is sincere. He gets this great fortune of somehow coming in contact with the pure devotee of the Lord. Coming in contact with the pure devotee of the Lord is not an ordinary thing. That's why we see the Shastra is glorifying the association of the pure devotees of the Lord. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra ko Lavamatra Sadhu Sanghe Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All the Vedic literatures are glorifying the association of the pure devotees of the Lord. It's really a very big thing, coming in contact with the pure devotee of the Lord. Lavamatra Sadhu Sanghe. I think this comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't remember. But somewhere I remember, to the purport of this verse, Lavamatra Sadhu Sanghe Sarva Siddhi Hoy, there is, I did not find any elaborate purport for this particular line. Then only one line that Srila Prabhupada gives is the definition of lava. What is lava? Lava, Srila Prabhupada refers to some 1 by many thousandth part of a second. It's a very, very small part, lava. It's a very, very small. Prabhupada, this much gives the description. The rest we see in the verses of Lavamatra Sadhu Sanghe Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Even a minutest moment of association of the pure devotee of the Lord, this Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya, is 1/11th of a second. It's a very short time. So even such a short period of association of a pure devotee of the Lord is considered to be very fortunate. So it's a great fortune on us that we have come in touch with Srila Prabhupada through his books, through his movement, through his devotees. So it's a very great fortune. But sometimes we don't understand this great fortune. That is the misfortune on the conditioned souls. We think that attaining the riches of the world, that may be considered as a big fortune. That's what the whole material world is running for. Somebody or many wants to become a very rich personality. Oh, and I'm remembering there is something called Forbes fortune something. Forbes fortune list means who's the richest person. He is considered to be the person on the world. So somebody who is considered fortune in the material world is always in the category of either he is rich or he is very beautiful or he is very powerful. Somebody who is very beautiful, he is considered to be a very fortunate person. In fact, all the materialists always try to keep themselves very attractive to others, physically and also in their dealings with the others. They always try to be attractive to others. And we also see that there is always competition for power. The great nations of the world, every nation of the world is trying to show their power. So this is also considered as a fortune. Everybody wants to become a leader. They think that, oh, if I become a leader, it's a fortune that is blessed on me. But these are all not considered as fortune at all. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shrimi Edamana Madhapuman. Taking a good birth, born in a very wealthy family, having a beautiful body, considered to be a very learned person, a scientist, a philosopher, a great poet. These things, the conditioned souls seem to be attracted to, and they think that these are all really a very fortune thing. Let us try to possess this fortune. But as per Srimad Bhagavatam, all these things are considered to be a great illusory possessions. We are not supposed to possess all these things. In fact, by possessing all these things, only the illusion expands. Illusion expands means this is a misfortune. When we are going to expand the illusion, this is simply misfortune. It is a great misfortune that we are just expanding the illusion. That's why here we see that one can stop this illusion by getting the seed of devotional service. And that is bestowed on the Kona Bhagyavan Jeev. Only a fortunate person gets this seed of pure devotional service in his heart by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So it's a very wonderful thing that one possesses this supreme wealth of devotional service. Just in the morning, I was just thinking about what are the things the conditioned souls are trying to possess. In fact, everybody is trying to possess so many things. Let me possess this, let me possess beauty, wealth, let me possess a good wife, a good husband, let me possess many children, or let me possess a country, let me possess followers. But these things are all not possessions at all. We are always trying to possess something. We see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is possessing everything. That's why he is called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who possesses all the bhagas. The bhagas are broadly classified as 6. Aishwarya Samagrasya, Viryasya Yashashashriya, Vairagya, Jnana Vairagya Shaiva Shannam Bhagaitingana. So the 6 possessions are named as beauty, wealth, knowledge, vairagya, power, and fame. So everybody tries to possess all these things. And one who possesses even a small quantity of these things, he considers himself to be fortunate. We are always trying to possess all these things, but possessing these things are not considered as fortunate. Only one who possesses the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes the most fortunate person. By devotional service, one can possess Krishna. We are trying to possess something of this material world. As I said, there are 6 opulences. So we may try to possess, but Krishna is the possessor of everything. And when somebody possesses Krishna, who is the possessor of everything, that is considered to be the real fortune. And that is attained by bhakti. That's why Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam, his teachings to Uddhava, he says that he doesn't give bhakti as easily to a person as somebody may try to get other path. Krishna may easily bestow the path of yoga or the jnana or other karma. These paths can be easily bestowed by Krishna, but bhakti he doesn't so easily bestow on a person, because when Krishna bestows devotional service on that particular person, then he himself sells. He becomes sold to the person who possesses bhakti. It means possessing Krishna, who is the possessor of everything. That is considered to be the real fortune. We always try to possess something. Why not possess the best thing? And possessing Krishna is the best thing. And possessing Krishna means one should possess so much bhakti. In one of the Vishnu Sahasranam lectures, Maharaj was speaking about conquering Krishna, how Yashoda conquered Krishna. There, Guru Maharaj says, one can conquer Krishna by love. Then, what is the verse? It comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. It comes in the same 10th canto. Jnane prayas mudapasya namantyeva jivanti san mukuritam bhavadiya vartan ye prayesa jito jitopi yas tais trilokyam. So it's mentioned that the unconquerable Lord becomes conquered by the love of the devotees. There Maharaj says that in order to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one needs love. Love means not just love, lots of love. So much of love if one possesses, then one can conquer Krishna. So by bhakti we can conquer Krishna. We can possess the Supreme Possessor. I do not know the word Bhagyavan also. We know Bhagavan means one who possesses the opulence. And here we are speaking about the Bhagyavan Jeev. I am not sure about the semantic, what we can say, how we can describe, but I see that Bhagyavan also has a link with that. One who is possessing Bhagya is considered as a Bhagyavan, and the supreme Bhagya is to possess the person who is the possessor of everything, who is Bhagavan. So it's a great fortune that one gets through devotional service, by which one is able to possess Bhagavan. Here it is mentioned that such bhagya is bestowed on a person by the mercy of the acharyas and Krishna. There is one similar verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. It comes in the 11th canto. Immediately I was just remembering that particular verse. Once we read the purport, devotees who are conversant with devotional service will be able to reverse one particular verse. This Acharya Chaityapusa Svagatim Vinakti. I'll just read that verse. It comes in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Naivopayan apachitam kavayasthavesha brahmayushapi kritam riddha mudasmarantha yo antarbahis tanubratam ashubham vidunvan acharya chaityapusa swagatim vinakti. Srila Prabhupada many times he quotes this. Many times we see that Srila Prabhupada quotes this translation, and sometimes he does quote this verse also. So here goes the translation. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Super Soul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. We could really see that how much we are meditating on Krishna, that we do not know, but Krishna is constantly meditating on the conditioned souls who have left him. Krishna is constantly meditating. That's why he comes personally, but even if he is not personally present, he is giving us the Shastra by which we can come back to him. And to explain the Shastra, he is always sending his few devotees of the Lord. In fact, here, though the Lord may not be always present, we always see that the devotees of the Lord are constantly present in this material world. The Lord is always present, but he is not always manifest. But we see that the pure devotees of the Lord are constantly being manifested in this material world. Here Srila Prabhupada speaks about the Acharya Sampradaya. This Acharya Sampradaya is existing since time immemorial. We see that Krishna comes at particular times, in particular millenniums. He takes different forms. He comes and shows mercy to the conditioned souls. But the Acharya Sampradaya was always existing. When Krishna is coming, when Lord Rama is coming, the Acharya Sampradaya is existing. And when Krishna becomes apragata, when it becomes non-manifested, But that time also the Acharya Sampradaya is always manifested. So this Acharya Sampradaya is always present in the material world. So Krishna is constantly meditating on how to save these conditioned souls. And in fact, Krishna is very pleased with personalities who are taking up this preaching service of giving this knowledge to others, conditioned souls. That's why we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about the devotees who are very dear to him. Krishna says, Adveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha nimo nirahankara madukka sukachami santushya satam yogi yadatma adranishchayaha. Then Mayarpita Mano Buddhir Yo Mat Bhakta Same Priya. Krishna says one who is Dveshta, who is non envious, who is surrendered to me, who is always thinking about me, serving me, who is merciful, he is very dear to me. Same Priya, he is very dear to me. So Krishna speaks in many places. Krishna speaks about personalities who are very dear to him, who are developing good character, who are surrendered to him, who is serving him. They become very dear to him. But at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Krishna says, Nachat tasman manusteshu kashinme priyakritamaha. What is the third line? But the fourth line, always remember, Anya priyataro bhavi. There is no other person who is as dear to me as the person who is preaching the message of Godhead. So this is Anya priyataro bhavi. Krishna is speaking about devotees who are dear to him, but at the end he is speaking about devotees who are very dear to him, but then there is no comparison to such devotees who are very dear to him in the preachers. So Krishna is always intent on saving the conditioned souls, how he can save the conditioned souls. Here Srila Prabhupada, here what is not sure where I read, but we see that Krishna is constantly thinking of the conditioned souls. It's a constant meditation for Krishna. And particularly in this purport, we see that the translation says how when one takes the divine lotus feet of the Lord as the shelter, then he is able to cross the fierce ocean of nescience. And that divine lotus feet plus 4 equal to back to Godhead. And that 16 is chanting 16 rounds of Maha Mantra, and plus 4 is the regulative principles that one should follow. And here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, he is exactly mentioning that the devotees have been advised to refrain from 4 sinful activities, illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions. So this is the method set by the Acharya, and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This comes in the verse itself, that you accept this method to help the conditioned souls. So the Acharyas, they design a particular method for the conditioned souls to escape the fierce ocean of nescience, and the Lord accepts the Acharya's method. So we should take this method. So we are fortunate that we are in this movement, we have come in contact with this movement. It is really a bhagya, it's a great fortune. But then we always see that Brahmanda Brahmite Gone Bhagyavan Jiv Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. That the seed of devotional service is put in the heart of the conditioned soul, the very fortunate conditioned soul. But the Chaitanya Charitamrita doesn't end there. It speaks about how to make the seed grow in the heart. That one should Shravanadi Suddha Chitte, where there should be Shravanam, hearing of the Lord, then there should be Kirtanam, glorifying the Lord, chanting the holy names of the Lord. By this process, then gradually the seed of devotional service grows. Here it's a bhagyavan, it's a fortune. Then there is more to go. Then we become the most fortune, then more fortune than most fortune. We have to go further, and finally that fruit of love of Krishna should manifest. So we should take this process seriously. This is no ordinary thing that we have come in contact with the pure devotees of the Lord, but we should consider this fortune. We should deeply meditate on this fortune. If somebody really meditates on the fortune that have been given to them, then they will stick to this process so strongly. Unless we understand that a great fortune is bestowed on us, then it's very difficult. Many times we don't understand the great fortune that have been bestowed on us because of lack of understanding of the fortune, that we don't take this process seriously. Why many times the devotees are requested or pushed so much to read Srila Prabhupada's books? I personally see that when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, at least we understand the great fortune that has been bestowed on us. Not that simply we have somehow come in contact with this movement, but to understand that a great fortune is bestowed on us, for that a good reading of Srila Prabhupada is needed. When somebody spends so much time reading Srila Prabhupada's book, then there is no impossibility that they will be missing this point, that it is a great fortune. In fact, I was just thinking that every day we are sitting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a great fortune. We are discussing this verse. In fact, we are discussing how fortunate we are. This itself is a very big thing. We are outside world, they are thinking of so many other things, so many other activities of sense carving is going on. They are planning so many things. They are planning to build hospitals or build schools, or they always think of um, doing good to the country. All these things, they think that to be very auspicious, and it is a fortune that we are able to enjoy so much sense gratification in this modern world. Or at least practically, I was thinking, when I was studying my college, I thought how fortunate I am that I am particularly born in a time when Facebook is available. When that time Orkut was considered a very big social media, I thought, oh, Orkut is available, Gmail is available, smartphone is available. I thought, what a fortune, because my parents, they did not get the fortune of having a smartphone or calling people in a long distance. They did not have the facility of internet, using computers, AC. I was thinking, maybe I am the fortunate batch. I was particularly thinking, am I fortunate than the previous batch or the batch after me? I was thinking that I am the fortunate batch. Even my seniors, they did not have that much fortune of. Means that's how everybody thinks. Maybe my juniors, they thought we are the best batch. Maybe the persons who are studying college, maybe they may be thinking that we are the most fortunate because now we have very advanced smartphones. We have so fast internet. That time, internet was available, but then it was not fast at all. Just to check an email, it will take a couple of minutes. Just to download a 1 MB file, it will take a few minutes. Downloading at that time, even a 2 GB was the hardest size. But nowadays, people, we can't imagine that 2 GB, how they survived in a hard disk, with a hard disk. So I was thinking that is a great fortune that is bestowed, that I was born exactly on the proper time so that I could enjoy sense gratification. But after coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books, we realized that what a great misfortune we had, and we thought that to be a great fortune. But the real fortune is here. Real fortune is here in this moment, in Srila Prabhupada's book, the process that Srila Prabhupada has given. This is the great fortune. That great fortune is bestowed on us. And that's why when I prepared for the lecture, I was thinking, it's a great fortune on us that we are discussing about the great fortune bestowed on the conditioned souls, that Bhagyavan Ji. It's really a very wonderful thing. But how deeply we are understanding that a great fortune has been bestowed on us. We should contemplate. And when we contemplate about the fortune that has been bestowed on us, then we become very serious devotees of Krishna. We really become very serious devotees of Krishna. We don't consider this fortune. That's why we try to struggle to survive in Krishna consciousness. Or sometimes, I was just thinking how unfortunate that somebody who has come in contact with this movement of Srila Prabhupada and leave the movement and go. So whatever process he has done, whatever devotional service that he has done, definitely it is going to save him. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that even a little devotional service done by any person is not going to be a loss. But still, it is also misfortune that somebody is leaving this movement after coming in contact with this movement is considered a great misfortune. So we should consider the fortune that has been bestowed on us. We should consider very deeply how Srila Prabhupada has so hardly working for us. Prabhupada worked so hard for the conditioned souls. And all the acharyas they were constantly working hard for the foolish conditioned souls. So we should take this seriously. I was thinking, at least for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, we should take this process seriously because he worked so hard for us. Personally, I don't see that there is any qualification. Many times, when devotees request to give lectures, Srila Chittaripu, he often pushes to give lectures and sing. I, but in front of the Lord, when he come and sing or give a lecture, we feel that oh, many times in fact, it is there in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu when a devotee when a devotee after executing the process of devotional service then comes in front of the Lord, he feels ashamed. He thinks of activities that he has done, and now he is now coming in front of the Lord who is supreme pure. Then he feels ashamed and then he bends down. It comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I always feel that that's a very nice thing that is mentioned in Bhakti Sindhu, that a sincere devotee really repents. When he comes in front of God, he repents so much. I was just thinking of this one particular thing, that imagining, consider a prisoner in the jail, in a prison house, a prisoner who is so much involved in criminal activities of murder or rape or cheating. In the modern world, this treachery, this treason, betraying one's country, these are all considered very sinful, very criminal activities. Raping is considered sinful, and this treason, this you are betraying your own country, your motherland. That is intolerable for the mother country. So, for that treason, he is really put into jail, and he is given very bad treatment. So a prisoner who has committed all sorts of these activities, simple activities, and then at one point of time, suddenly he is given a very happy news that you will be released immediately from the prison house. And he thinks that this is a great. Generally, it is not expected that a prisoner who has committed a treason or a rape or plundering the wealth. We know there are 6 kinds of aggressors: to kidnap one's wife, to plunder one's others' wealth, or to take away others' riches, others' land. Somebody who is an aggressor, who is attacking with a deadly weapon, who is a poison giver. These are considered as a very sinful activity who is never to be excused at all. But if such a prisoner is excused from all his activities and given release from this prison house, then it's like it's a fortune on him. It's a fortune on him that he is released from this thing. So we should do consider that how our portion is. We do not know what sort of sinful activities that we did in this material world, but now somehow we are come in contact with this Krishna conscious movement, and now we are given this great fortune of taking up this process of devotional service, by which we will be able to release ourselves from the fiery, the word is used here, this fiery ocean of material existence. It's a great fortune that for our activities we do not know what we should have been bestowed, but then we are bestowed that bhagya, that fortune of pure devotional service. So we should take these things very seriously and make our life successful. And for a good extent, we should also make others' life successful by distributing this knowledge. Hare Krishna, I just stop here. Any questions, comments?
He's in very much in line, and then he picks up the most important point in this purport. He's stressing about taking shelter of the Guru and Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada also emphasized on taking the conclusion of this purport is saying Tadera Charana Shavi Bhakta Shanebas. So how taking shelter of Guru and then taking shelter of the Vaishnavas, that is the only hope for progression in Krishna consciousness. So that's the main point Prabhupada stresses. So we see the commentaries of the previous acharyas. So they are also making the point that if we can, I was so wondering how Prabhupada is putting this. He's saying that chanting 16 rounds, as we explained in the class, chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles. So Sridhara Swami, he points out that this lotus feet, what is being, because in this verse there is pada, and also in the previous verse, the same word pada is used. So he says that this refers to the process of sadhana bhakti. The lotus feet, the mercy of the Tad Anugrahat is also there. The mercy of the Lord comes in the form of the acharyas giving us the process of sadhana bhakti. So then one takes up to that process, then he is able to cross over the samsara. That's one point. And another interesting point, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he points out is that he says that when the calf's hoof print, says that the whole ocean becomes like a calf's hoof print. And he says that the water from the calf's hoof print is very purifying. So he compares that and he says that this when a devotee realizes in his life that this samsara, we are in a very precarious condition, we are just caught up in this repetition of birth and death. So that in itself, very much the thought of that itself, it will purify one. So then when I thought about that, so how one can get that thought, that is possible only by the mercy of the Acharya. Because as you were explaining that, that we were thinking, this is fortune, that is fortune, we got this technology, I studied this, I studied that. So many thousands and thousands of misconceptions we had. But only when we came in shelter of Srila Prabhupada, all those misconceptions were smashed. Because he showed that, you are in a very precarious condition, you are in a repetition of birth and death. The only hope is to take shelter of Krishna's holy name and then the whole process, then you can come out of it. So that was very, very amazing actually how Srila Prabhupada is putting in his purport, and then he just exactly bringing to the point that we should take to this process of Krishna consciousness, follow the sadhana bhakti, and understand how fortunate we are, then we can just cross over. It's really amazing. Wonderful purport with Prabhupada. Just one last thing, as you were explaining about the greatest love that the Lord has for his, the devotee should have enormous love to attract Krishna, for the Krishna to bind. And then in one of the 11th canto purports, Srila Prabhupada followers, they are just quoting Srila Jiva Goswami. They say that...
I thought I'll allow you to finish what you want to speak, then let me read the purport.
Yeah, please.
But I'm exactly having that purport.
Great. You please go ahead and read that. Yeah. That was very interesting.
So that purport is for the words that I quoted, that Acharya Chaitya Upasa Swagatim Vyanakti. Here goes the purport. How the Supreme Lord is so much loving to the devotees. Purport. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, Lord Krishna is 10 million times more dear to a devotee than life itself. And according to Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura, even by rendering devotional service for the total duration of 1000 universal creations, a devotee cannot repay the debt he feels to the Lord for having awarded him loving service to the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord appears within the heart as the Supersoul and externally both as the spiritual master and as his literary incarnation, the supreme Vedic knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any further questions? Srila Prabhupada ki.